Hello everyone, this is Maria from Under the Night Moon, and I'm here today to do a junk journal flip through of my latest journal. It's a fall harvest journal. It's botanical, also slightly medieval, and I am going to be listing this in my Etsy shop later tonight. So I just wanted to go ahead and do a flip through. This journal has a lot of really fun things that my Etsy pictures just won't be able to show as well. Especially like on the cover here, I have these really cool, like they're seeds. Now they're fake, but they look real. And I love them. You can see the inside. I got them at Joann's, and the leaves as well. So anyway, yeah, I wanted to go ahead and just show you in detail all of the things in this book up close. And so to begin with, you see I have a wax seal here. The closure is a vintage button. I have some jewelry on the edge here. And a lot of antique lace in this book. Everything in this book just about is vintage. There are some printables, and it's made of chipboard, and pretty sturdy chipboard as well. And I've sewn around just to give it more stability. The book measures, let's see, 7 by 5.5, and it's about just under 4 inches wide. It does have a long, like, mushroom color, and this is a braid. It's a vintage braid, so that's to keep it closed. And I wanted to show the antique lace that's in this book. It came from this beautiful vintage dress. You can see it's completely falling apart. My mom had a doll business for many years, so this is from her studio, and I was lucky enough to be able to have it. It's just gorgeous. It's silk. It has this beautiful brown silk fabric, and then this is, you can see the neck here where it was closed, and then the trim, the beauty, the hand sewing. It's just beautiful. So a lot of the things that I've used on this book are from that garment. So I just wanted to go ahead and show you where that came from. And you can see I've used part of the dress up here. I've used the laces here. And then we also have this cool acorn, one of my vintage leaves. It says medieval up here. I've used a lot of gold. It's gold leaf powder. And so I've turned it into paint, and I've got it all over this book. So it's really shiny and golden and pretty. Okay, so we're going to open. And here you can see I've added a big piece of the garment as a pocket. And I've kept the closures on there. I've kept it all intact. It is fragile, but it serves its purpose very well as just a really pretty pocket. It's double-sided. You can see I've used more of the lace here on the edge. And then I've gone ahead and attached a vintage key. Maybe that dress was worn by a school marm, and that's the key to the school. I don't know. Mother of pearl buttons. And then I do have some printables in here. Tags, cards. This is very botanical, and it has a lot of flowers and botanical things in here, but it's also just a tribute to the fall harvest. The really pretty colors of the fall. It's definitely one of my favorite seasons. And then on this side I have some silk ribbon that came from the garment as well. More vintage trims. Some more, all of these can be journaled on. You can attach little photos to these as well. This has a lot of writing space as we get through this journal. And then I've also attached it with ribbon so it will lay flat as you turn the pages. This is my favorite way of book binding. But I do like sewing the pages in as well. Here's a pretty little tapestry pocket with some more tags. Some vintage millinery flowers. These came from a hat, probably from the 50s. More of the vintage lace. Little tuck spot here. This is actually a book plate. Here's a little envelope. You can put pictures in there. A book plate. A lot of my printables came from Graphics Fairy, which is my new favorite place to go for inspiration and just lovely images. I'm a little obsessed with her site right now. More of the vintage lace on here. Very delicate, very fragile. It has some netting here. And then more trims and things from my stash. And this pocket is pretty much loaded with all kinds of things in here. Journaling, papers, all places to journal on. More of the Graphics Fairy printables. This is an embossed piece of craft paper. I don't know if you can see the embossing. Really cool. This book has a lot of texture. Moving right along, here's some of the medieval pages that I've incorporated. Definitely trying to keep that fall feel. This is a cool little tribute to the butterfly. Maybe it was a specimen sample. And that's also a flip. You can quietly journal under there, add pictures, a secret spot maybe. There's lots of tabs to help keeping you turning the pages. And then here's your journal. Really pretty, smooth, cream cardstock. You can add notes, do your own calligraphy. Maybe you want to do collage, record your memories. This is a pretty spot to just use photos. You can make a really pretty layout on these two pages. These flowers are three-dimensional. Those are Anna Griffin flowers, my favorite designers. And then I have some fun pages in here from different vintage books. I forget what story this is, but it's just add some interest to the book. There's my gold paint. Tea-dyed papers as well. This is a little place you can tuck things under, but you can still journal on this page and use these for a pocket somewhere else in the journal. But it's fun, you can store them up that direction. Vintage sunflowers, more pretty cards, journaling, and more tea-dyed papers. Just for interest. You have several of these. A lot of space to write in this journal. It's not just all decorated. I wanted to make sure that you had a chance to decorate too. Maybe you found some beautiful leaves this fall and you need a place to put them. This is vintage paper. And leaves would look really pretty. And it's pretty sturdy. A little bit thinner than the cardstock though. but it's got a really neat feel to it. And then these are also just pages from a book about mothers. So there's parts of quotes, but sometimes for me just the writing is inspirational. And if you need to start journaling, sometimes having things already written on the page helps. And then here we have a beautiful, now this is scrapbooking paper. It's Tim Holtz, but it's really pretty. It goes well with the fall theme. Here's some more printouts of some botanical flowers. And then this is embossed, vintage. I don't know what it is, but I have a huge roll of it. It's from my mom's studio, so I'm trying to utilize it. So I embossed leaves on there just to add interest. Now you could attach photos to this. You could color in the leaves. There's a lot of different things you can do with it, but it's really just to add interest to the book. And then some craft paper. This is also another little tuck spot here, but a lovely place to journal on. More graphics fairy images. And then I left some paper without any inking. You see the previous pages I inked up, made them look a little bit distressed, but I also left some clean because I love to have just a clean surface. Sometimes I find that very, very inspiring. And maybe you want to try your hand at distressing. This would be a good book to do that in because you can't mess it up. Distressing is one of those things that you just can't mess up. And so this is just more journaling pages, more of that Tim Holtz paper, more craft paper, more of the vintage papers. So you can see there's quite a bit of journaling pages in this book. I didn't count them, maybe I should have. Maybe I'll put that in the listing. This book will be listed in my Etsy shop later, so I'll count the pages and put that in. And then towards the back, we're almost done here. This is a side loading pocket, which I have vintage colorings, in case you feel like you just want to color that day. That's been tea dyed. Tags, places to journal on. These are all cool little things that can be tucked, and there's plenty of room for more in there. More of that vintage millinery flower. You hear that key, it has like a little bell sound. This really cool image, and then lots of butterflies. This is a vintage tape measure under here. That also came from my mom's studio. This is a flip up here. You can secretly journal there. And then turning here, inside another pocket here, I've got this envelope with the wax seal of a bee with some cards and pretty papers in there. Plenty of room for more in there. You want to tuck away letters, receipts, just some cool images in here. Maybe you have a Thanksgiving list that you're starting that could be done in this book. And then you can see this cool vintage fringe. I've had this in my studio for a while. I'm really happy to be able to finally use it. So I've attached it to the last page here, which we're almost there. This is just another pocket with some cool graphics in. And then this clip up here can be just used for anything. And then this is the last page inside. You can see the fringe. Sorry, I'm not in focus. This is not from the garment, but this is just as old. Really cool antique lace here. Lots of prints and reprints in this pocket. Some from the Graphics Fairy mostly, some are from my stash. Got some little rhinestones here. You can see the gold paint. You can see the stitching up here that I've done. You make this book very sturdy. This is a pretty little fold out. You can do some journaling here, maybe add a picture on the inside there. Really pretty roses on there. And then this is just a beautiful color for fall. You could just put one leaf there, it would look so pretty. And there's always room to store your tags, and everything can be swapped out throughout this whole book. Okay, and then here's the back. Some beautiful butterflies. Lots of gold paint for texture, collage. I've got some burlap here. I don't think I have any part of the dress on this. Yeah, a little bit of the lace here. And then a cool, really old button. It's a fabric button, and the fabric's actually worn off in some places. And then just quickly, oops, I've used eyelets on this book also, just to help reinforce. They're there, you can't see them, they're buried under, but I've got eyelets holding the pages together. And then the long bookmark, I put a lot of length on it. Now I always do that. You can certainly cut it to your desired length, and you can wrap this around to keep it closed. I like to be able to wrap at least twice. So that's the final flip through of my fall journal. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. This will be listed in my Etsy shop later. Just thank you so much.